Welcome back, guys. In the previous video, we read another journal off of this bookshelf here, specifically this journal right here, which gave us some information about the next location we'll be heading to, called the Stone Ship Age. And like the previous journal, this journal also features some pictures, like for example, this drawing of a ship which is similar to the sunken ship by the dock and the model sunken ship inside the fountain in the courtyard. And I'm guessing this is the ship that was meant to be placed in the Stone Ship Age by Atris, but somehow got embedded in the rocks. And there's also a drawing of a submersible lamp, whatever that's for. Well, it's called a submersible lamp, so I'm guessing it's used underwater, but for what reasons? To explore underwater? Who knows? And there's also a couple of drawings of the lighthouse, as mentioned by the journal, along with a diagram of the roof of the lighthouse, along with a bird's eye view of the Stone Ship Age. And here's the ship broken in two halves and embedded into this large rock, and a spiraling walkway that leads to the top of the rock, it looks like. And there's a couple of wooden walkways. I'm assuming they're wooden. They look like they're made from wooden planks anyway. And I'm guessing this is the lighthouse right here, as indicated by these two cables that leads to these two squares in the rocks. I'm not sure what they're supposed to resemble. And I don't know what this is either, but we shall find out shortly once we get to the Stone Ship Age. And the last two pages of this book have some constellations and some images of what they resemble. Like, for example, this constellation represents an anchor, and this one resembles an eye, this one a snake, a beetle, a cross, an arrow, a bird, and a leaf. Not sure what relevance that has to do with getting to the Stone Ship Age. In fact, what we got from the tower for the access key was a series of dates and times. Where can we put those? At the moment, I'm not exactly sure, but something is telling me that we should go ahead and check this building out some more. Yeah, we didn't really check this building out in full because I initially thought that this was a dentist office. I mean, doesn't the chair look like something that you'd see at a dentist? But actually that is not the case. Let's go ahead and have a seat here and bring this down. Aha! Here's the answer to our question. We got ourselves a console with some times and dates. January 1st, the year 0, 12 a.m. And we got a display that shows nothing, a button that does nothing, and 4 sliders. Let's see what they do. Well, the first slider changes the month. This one changes the day. This one changes the year, all the way to the year 9,999. And this one changes the time, as you might have guessed. Now, I wonder, this goes all the way down to 31. Will it change if I change it to February? Nope. It stays at 31. So apparently February 31st is a thing in this universe, even though there's only 28 days in February. Well, not for this year. Year 2020 is a leap year. Yep, there's 29 days in February this year. And this button is now blinking, which it wasn't doing before. Let's see what happens when we press it. Nothing really happens. I mean, I saw a bit of movement on the display here, but can't really make out what's being shown. But I feel like something is missing here. Well, there's a button on the wall here. What happens when we press it? It turns out the lights. And also, if we look up, the ceiling is now showing a bunch of stars. So yeah, this isn't a dentist office, not at all. It's a planetarium, or planetarium. I have a disease that prevents me from saying the T in planet... Okay. I know Shady Paradox did that joke in his Myst Let's Play, so I'm not gonna do that joke either. But yeah, apparently this is a planetarium showing all the stars in the solar system. Well, I wouldn't say the solar system because I don't know if Myst Island is actually part of our solar system. So maybe this is actually supposed to be the night sky on Myst Island. Possibly. I mean, the time never changes in Myst, but in real Myst it does. It changes through the day-night cycle over and over again. So let's see if that changes anything over here with this console. And it does. The display now shows the stars on the ceiling. Cool. And if we change one of the sliders and press this button, it shows a different portion of the night sky. And I'm curious to see what would happen if I put in my birthday. So March 21st, 1993. And it is 2:01 p.m. as I'm recording this. So let's see what happens when I press this button. It shows a different portion of the sky, but not much else. Okay, so let's go ahead and put in the 3 times and dates that we got from the tower. Starting with October 11th, 1984 at 10:04 a.m. There we go, let's see what happens. And I'm guessing, someone told me that this date right here, specifically the year 1984, is a reference to one of the Cyan employees. I'm guessing it's the year they got married or something? Not sure. But anyway, after putting this date in and pressing this button, we got ourselves a constellation. And this constellation looks familiar, doesn't it? Well, we'll go ahead and go into further detail about this constellation in a minute. Right now, I'd like to go ahead and put in the second date, which is January 17th, 12:07 at 5:46 a.m. And let's see what we get this time. We got what looked like another constellation. And for the third date, we have November 23rd, 9791, which by that point, none of us living on this planet will be alive. Although, if someone does survive from this year all the way to 9791, that would be pretty damn impressive. And the time is 6:57 p.m. So, let's go to the far-flung future, where sound no longer exists, or where sound doesn't exist in that future. And in that future, we got a third constellation. And I'll go ahead and show you where we saw these constellations previously, if you've been paying attention at all in this video. But first, something really cool that I found out a few years ago when I first started playing Myst again for the first time since elementary school. Looking at this image right here, you can actually see the 3 constellations that we saw in the console in this very image right here. You wouldn't be able to do this in real Myst, but here in the original Myst you can. You can actually see the 3 constellations from the imager right here in this very shot. And I'll go ahead and give you a few seconds to see if you can find all 3 of those constellations, if you haven't found them already. I already know where they are, considering that I played this game before. But yeah, if you don't know where the constellations are, here are some arrows to show you exactly where they are located in this image. Pretty cool, huh? Anyway, let's go ahead and go back to the library and take a look at that journal again. And turn the page to the last few pages. Yeah, the constellations that we saw in the imager resembles a couple of the constellations in this book. For example, the first constellation we saw is this one right here, which is the one that resembles a leaf. And the second constellation we got was this one, which represents the snake. And the third one is the one that looked like a beetle. So, a leaf, a snake, and a beetle. What does that have to do with anything? Well, if I were to guess, I would say the courtyard might be an answer because of the fact that the model of the sunken ship that resembled the sunken ship by the dock might be might be a clue. I mean, the place we're going to is called the Stone Ship Age. So let's have a look at these pillars that we didn't look at previously. And these pillars have images that resemble the images that we saw in the Stone Ship Age journal. Yeah, here's the eye right here, and it glows red when I hover my cursor over it, and makes a weird sound. In fact, that's the same sound that we've been hearing in the library whenever we touch those paintings to open and close up the bookshelf. And if we click on these images, they go from red to green. Not really sure what they accomplish, but let's go ahead and move on. Here's the beetle. Here's one of the images that we found in the journal that had the constellation shown in the planetarium. And if we click on that, it turns green and not much else. And here's the snake. So that's two of the images we need. That's the beetle again. Now we just need to find the leaf. Here's the anchor, which is not one that we want. Ah, and here's the leaf right here. Let's go ahead and see what will happen when we click on it. What the hell just happened? Something big happened, that's for sure. Anyway. Oh! Well, would you look at that? The model of the sunken ship has risen out of the fountain and is now afloat again. Wait a minute. If the model of the sunken ship is floating again, no way. Then does that mean... Yep. The real sunken ship has come out of the water as well, and it's floating once more. Somebody explain the logic behind that. Clicking on 3 icons somehow raises a sunken ship out of the water. I'm completely gobsmacked right now. But anyway, let's go ahead and board the ship. Nothing really spectacular here. This ship doesn't even have a wheel. But it does have a door. And when we open it, it shows us another book. And this right here is the book to the Stone Ship Age. And we see a bunch of small jagged rocks, along with a large rock with the spiral walkway and the 2 halves of the ship embedded in it. And here's a close-up of the flyby from the book, which again is not something we see in the original Myst, but in the Masterpiece Edition, this is something that can happen. And just like that, we link to the Stone Ship Age. And we shall explore the Stone Ship Age in the next video of this Let's Play of Myst. See you guys next time.